Hey, what's up, guys? Back with another stream, this time on Twitch. FSEconomy, a little bit something different, back in the B1900D. And we're going to do a trip from Spokane, Washington, up into the Great White North, Kamloops, Canada, which I've actually been to before, believe it or not. But, yeah, so I thought this would be kind of cool to do something a little bit different. And I haven't flown the B1900D for a while, so I thought that would be kind of cool to do. Appreciate you guys checking the stream out. And I'm in VR right now, basically using Oculus Rift, which shouldn't make too much difference to you guys. You'll see it as 2D, but for me, I see it as 3D, which is pretty freaking amazing. In any event, it's going to be about a 220-mile trip, so we'll have the pedal to the metal and try to get there as quick as we can. And got a pretty nice... I need to make some money so that I can use those funds to get my SR20 shipped to Hawaii, which is another series that I'm doing. I'm actually... I'm on episode number 9 now, taking a SR20 from Pennsylvania all the way to LA, and then I'm going to have it shipped, crated up and shipped to Honolulu, because I want an SR20 in Hawaii. There's not one there. I'll have the only SR20 in Hawaii on FSEconomy, which would be kind of cool. So anyway, that's in the process, but again, I wanted to take a break from that and get into this. So thanks for joining me on Twitch. I do have a YouTube channel, the link below. It's Bambino Games, where I do most of my streaming, but I'm trying to build up the Twitch side as well. So in any event, all right, let's get to it here. I appreciate you guys again joining, and hopefully the frame rates will cooperate with me, because with this plane, it's a Carenado plane. It tends to chew up the frames. I am running Plane11.10 release candidate 1, which so far has been just fine. So hopefully that'll maintain. I'm gonna get my volume. Oh, get my volume on here. All right, cool. So there it is. There's the Air Canada plane right there. You could see it. Not wild about that green color, that's for sure. Air Canada Express. Love the maple leaf on the back. The B1900D with that interesting nose cone on her. Turboprop plane. Moves pretty quickly. And let's get inside here. All right, so let me first show you. I want to go to I'm going to show you here's the plan. We're in Sky Vector. We're going from Spokane International to Kamloops. Oh, crap. That's not what I wanted to do. Got a couple of GPS. Well, we're going to use this airport here as a turning point, Grand Forks. And then we'll turn here at Tudud. I guess that's how you pronounce it. So it should give us a 12-mile shot right into Kamloops, which is right along the river here. I want to say that's I don't know what river that is. I'm not even going to pretend to know. I know there's a Bow and the Elbow, but those are closer to Calgary. Anyway, 220 miles. I'm going to probably fly here at, well, let's see. We have to get to Kamloops. Elevation is 1100, so, but we've got some, some pretty high terrain here to deal with. 7,000, so I think I'm going to fly at about 10,000. There's 8,000. I'm going to fly at 10,000, and that should be suffice us to say, or that should get us where we want to go. We're going to cross over the border, so there you go. As far as FSEconomy goes, I'm going to let me rent the plane here, and we can do 19 passengers on this plane. So got a nice amount here. So there's, I think we can actually take everyone 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14. So let's take them all. Oh, we could take these guys too. Sweet. All right, nice heavy load. All right, let's look at my flight here. All right, we got 17 passengers. $13,000. Now, this is going to be critical on fuel here. So 17, and we're going to go, let's just call it 250 miles. Need 131 gallons. We have 179. So let's get some gas here. I'm gonna go to 200 and let's see. Gas is pretty cheap here. So I'm gonna go to 300 gallons. I don't care. Why not? This way we know we're gonna have plenty of gas. All right. 300 gallons. That's twice as much as we need, and that should get us there just fine. Okay, you can see I've got 129,000 right now, so hopefully with this trip we'll probably make around 11 grand, I would guess. So that's pretty nice. And but we're going to be heavily loaded here, so we're going to have to get our use our flaps to get up in the air. But this is a nice run here to make a little bit of money on FSEconomy. All right, so that's that. It's going to be that. Lord Volde, how you doing? Are there any tutorials out there on how to get started with FSE? I signed up for an account, then didn't really mess with it much. Yeah, there's definitely. Look on YouTube. Just search FSEconomy tutorial or getting started with FSEconomy. I remember there's a number of pretty good videos to help you get started with that, so definitely want to check that out. I'm going to try to see if I can use, well, let's just see here. All right, yeah, unfortunately, so Flight Plan Go, which is what you see up the upper left-hand corner, that's an image of my iPad. It has some problems with connectivity with the current beta release of Plane11, so the moving map doesn't work properly, unfortunately. So we'll just have to use the GPS, which actually, let me just show you this. So there you go. You can see that I've got my GPS all set up here. My flight plan is all loaded up and ready to go. Okay, and got 221 nautical miles. So we'll just be using this too. Let's get the CDI on GPS. I haven't flown this plane in a long time. All right, let me get rid of that. It definitely looks interesting. Yeah, you know, it really is interesting. It keeps you kind of enveloped with flying. You know, you got something to do. It's something interesting. So, yeah, it's kind of cool, kind of fun. All right, so one thing about this is the Carenado B1900D. You want to have your pitot heat on. All right, and let's see. We want to have our flaps to 1. Okay. Got to be careful not to smoke the engines. You got to be really careful about that. You want to have your auto pumps on auto, your fuel pumps on auto, and you want to have there's a fuel selector switch on main and aux. Always have it on main, okay? And that's pretty much it. Let's see. Autopilot. Well, this thing has an FMS in it now, which I'm not going to be using. But if I go to autopilot, I'm going to set my, I'm going to be on nav, and I'm going to go vertical speed at 600 feet per minute. All right, so you guys can see that right there on the display. And I got my CDI on GPS, so that should be good to go. All I have to do is pick up that vector, and I'll be flying just right. So, all right, get FSEconomy loaded. So you guys can't see this, but I'm basically opening up, logging into FSEconomy, and I'm starting the flight. And I just loaded 300 gallons and 11 assignments. I just go back and check and make sure that's all good. And I want to just peer down at my gas and Hopefully that'll be enough gas. I do have an aux in case I need more. I have to watch our fuel consumption. All right, so I think we're good to go here. We're going to assume we're not going to do any radio comms. We're just going to fly it, make some money. Now, there's a lot of auto-gen around here, so my frame rates are probably going to be a little weak right now until we get in the air and get our asses up towards going to the Great White North. So, all right, let me just make sure we're good to go here, and we are. So let's taxi. Does this thing have a yaw damper? I don't think it does. I think I want this runway over there, so in any event, we'll figure it out. Now, this Carenado plane, it's really beautifully modeled in VR. Everything is just so three-dimensional, but it just chews up the frames. And especially like things like just having the cabin lighting on causes like frame rate drop. It's pretty intense, so in any event. All right, so we have our flaps set to the first position, takeoff position. I don't know where the hell our trim is, but I'm going to assume my trim is okay. Oops. I always have a hard time steering. There's the Canadian Air. Or I should say Air Canada. Looking good. Alright, cool. I do love flying this plane. It's a lot of fun. Now, I haven't landed this plane in a long time, and I'm going to be landing it heavy, so hopefully we'll be okay. All right, so we're going to go to 8,000, right? We said 8,000 is the number. No, sorry, 10,000 we said. One thing I like about it is the brakes are very, very smooth. You don't have those harsh braking. This plane, I mean, it's a nice plane. It's just that it eats up a lot of frames, and hopefully, you know, as things progress here, if we when we start to get into native VR, this plane will, you know, operate a lot better. So we're just going to assume we have clearance here, and we're going to have to double back to catch our vector. Here we go. Right there's good. I am using XP Realistic too. Looking good. Just check our systems. Rudder pedals good. Everything's good. Well, we know the rudder pedals are good because we used them before. All right, so we're good to go. FSEconomy is up and running. We are en route. And we are ready to go. So let's hit it. Light the candle. Again, you got to be careful not to over smoke these engines. You got to watch your torque in the ITT. Here we go. Got a lot of runway, so we'll get up there. That's the outer marker. All right, getting up to speed. We got to 100 knots. 120 and rotate. Come on, bring her up. Bring her up. There we go. Airspeed's alive. Gear up. Flaps up. And we're looking good. Make our turn. We're already at 3,000. Climbing nicely. Oh, gonna get to see some nice mountains up here. Now, I don't think I'm using ortho up here. No, I'm pretty sure I'm not using ortho up here. So this is all X-plane scenery. All right, looking good there. Sounds like a bee. All right, let's get our autopilot on. Where the hell is autopilot? Autopilot on?
Autopilot on.
Okay. So we'll pick up our GPS route there, and we'll start to climb up to 10,000. We're going at 600 feet per minute. I don't like the way it does that. It basically circles it back, and then we are climbing, which is good. On our way to Kamloops, we're doing just about 200 knots. We should get us there pretty damn quick. We'll check the GPS here. Once we get altitude and we get up to speed, we'll check the GPS to see. Oops, I don't want the flaps on. Just going to bring the throttle back a little bit. Lean it back a little bit. Just leaning the engine out a little bit. All right, looking good. Yeah, a lot of that's, you know, it's X-plane scenery, unfortunately, so it's a lot of duplicate scenery. I am working on building up my ortho. I've got, I bought a 6 terabyte WD black drive, which I have, but I don't have a SATA cable. I got that on order, so I'm going to install that. I'm going to be adding ortho in a bunch of different places. Probably up here in Canada a little bit, or in the Northwest, I should say, and into Canada. We're not quite in Canada yet. But definitely Alaska. I'm going to redo Hawaii, all at like 17 or 18. I guess it's pixel density, whatever it is, just to beef up the ortho, because it really does make a difference. And I actually find that the planes operate better in ortho than they do in the basic scenery from X-plane. You get better frame rates. So at least that's my experience. So I'm actually excited to get that done. All right, so let's see. Just trying to lean this out a little bit. Get that fuel flow too. Down a little bit here. All right, climbing to 6,300, 6,400, so making our ascent up. You guys go ahead and say hello in the chat. If you haven't watched one of my streams before, welcome to the stream. I do appreciate it. If you have any questions about VR, happy to answer them. I've been flying in VR for maybe it's a year now. Might be a year. And once I started doing it, I never went back to 2D. I just didn't. Actually contemplated getting a 3-screen system, and once I tried VR, I realized that, to me, it was just made more sense to do that. And I actually paid, now you can get an Oculus Rift for like $400. Actually, $349 is the holiday special. You can get a full system. I paid $800 for mine with everything. So it's double the price a year ago, but you know what? It's still worth it. Still worth it. I love flying in VR. All right, coming to 6,900. Let's just check the GPS here. All right, so we've got 200 miles total. We've got 20 minutes to our first, so we're probably going to be a little over an hour flight. Not too bad. Not too bad. Lord, I'm using a 1080 Ti. It's an EVGA 1080 Ti SC2. Definitely makes a difference in VR, for sure. In X-Plane, it's not going to make much of a difference right now with OpenGL, but once they go to Vulkan, which is their plan, you're going to start to see a difference in frame rates by having a higher generation card. But yeah, I have a 1080 Ti. And my CPU is a 6700, i7 6700. But I bought the Ti probably about, I want to say about 5 months ago, something like that. It was before the crazy prices for the Bitcoin mining, before that took over the GPU prices. It was right after, when it first came out is when I got it. So I think that was like, maybe it was August, somewhere around there. Can't remember. But I've had it for a while, haven't had any problems with it, knock on wood, and it's been really, really great. I mean, they say the sweet spot for X-Plane is 1070. That's for 2D X-Plane. You got to remember, I'm in 3D with VR, so you need a little bit more GPU power there. So I had a 1070 before, which was fine, but I wanted to go to the 1080 because I do other stuff with VR too, and it makes a big difference, especially like the action games like Super Hot and some other games. 1080 Ti just makes such a difference. All right, coming to 8,000. Everything looking good. Wish I could tell you when we cross into Canada. Let's just see. Oh, actually, when we hit our first waypoint, which is the airport, C Zebra Golf Foxtrot, Charlie Zebra Golf Foxtrot, that first, that's just right on the border of the U.S. and Canada, so that's when we're going to hit it. Let's see. You have the same card, okay. Yeah, everything is very smooth in VR. It depends on the, in X-Plane 11, Lord, it depends on the plane, okay? This plane is really, as I mentioned before, is a frame hog. But planes like the V-Flight Air SR20, the Aerobasque Eclipse 550 jet, which I just purchased, that's amazing on frame rates. It really runs really well. So, yeah, I mean, I've got no complaints about it. Fly Inside, which is the module you need to do VR, kind of eats up some frames. And also I'm using the Oculus mirror so you guys can see what I'm seeing, and that eats up some frames. So hopefully, when Laminar Research goes native VR at the end of December, we'll start to see some improvements there. But yeah, I have got no complaints about the 1080 Ti. So if you're into VR flight simulation, we've got a Facebook group. Actually, let me get to 10,000 here and level off, and then I'm going to and we'll talk more about the Facebook group. This happens when you change scenery. It kind of goes in and out of FlyInside like that. It happens a lot. When you change like meshes, when you go from one mesh to the other in the scenery, seem to get that issue. Okay. $9,500. We're pushing to get up there. Pushing to get up there. $99. We'll hit that altitude button on the autopilot. We should hold that, whatever that altitude is, 10,000. All right, we're going to hold 10,000. And we'll start to pick up some speed here. All right, that's good, man. 15 minutes to our first waypoint. 15 minutes to the border. Yeah, native VR is coming soon for X-Plane. Laminar Research has... they originally, in the summer, they originally said it was going to be in the fall. But last month they did a talk somewhere over in Europe, and they said that it will be, they're planning on the beta release to come out around Christmas. So that's going to be it's going to be 11.20 beta, and that's going to be the first VR functionality. I would expect, some problems, and it's going to take a little bit of time to get things going, but hopefully, I know they've been working on it for about a year, and hopefully it'll improve things. It'll be nice to be able to remove the Fly Inside module, although Fly Inside has been great, but I'm hoping that the clarity is better with native VR, just like the clarity in Aerofly FS2 in VR, because you don't have that extra piece of software reprojecting the image in VR. So I'm hoping that that's going to make a difference. All right, moving along here at 200, just about 200 knots. So ground speed is 238, which is nice. Let's take a look outside here. Humming along nicely. It's a nice looking plane. It really is. So what I wanted to tell you guys about was a Facebook group that we have set up called the VR Aviators. If you go to, just search VR Aviators group on Facebook, you can join up. It's got about 170 plus people so far in a couple of weeks, all people interested in getting into VR, virtual reality flight simulation. And some really good discussions. People have questions, a lot of support. You know, people that have gone through it before and have seen the problems and are working through them. And it's just a great group of people. So make sure you check that out if you're interested. It's VR Aviators Group on Facebook. Check that out. Alrighty. I want to see the frame rates. Yeah, they're pretty low right now. I could tell it. I could tell it's chugging along. And that's largely to do because I'm running Oculus Mirror. If I wasn't running Oculus Mirror, we would have much better frame rates. But that's also the Carenado plane just sucking up frame rates, you know. All right, so we got 37 miles to get to our first waypoint, which is basically the Canadian border. Looks pretty cool there. I wonder what river that is. Let's see if we can figure that out. That would probably be this right here, which is Lake Roosevelt National Recreation Area. All right. That's what that is. Lake Roosevelt. Interesting. Here's an interesting thing. With the Carenado plane in VR, if you look out the window, you can't see the engine or the wing. But if you put your head out, you could see it. So right now my head is outside the plane, and I could see it. I'm not sure what the hell that problem is, but let me show you the back of the plane here. Let's see, let me turn around this way. Oops. I could look back there and you could see that's where our passengers would be. Right there, pretty cool. Can leave that open. See, now I could see it, but if I'm facing this way, oops. I can't. Isn't that weird? All right. Back settled straight there. Good. Just amazing in VR. I mean, it's like looking out a real window. It's just incredible. I mean, there's no way you can get that in 2D. Turn your head and look out the window. You just can't do that, right? Three-dimensional. All the mountains, all the hills, all the valleys, all have dimension. It looks like it looks real. A little fuzzy, but it looks real. Look out there, I could see the haze over the valley. Everything has dimension. That's what it's all about with VR. Looks like everything's running optimally here. Sometimes it's just mesmerizing to look, you know. Yeah, I haven't flown this plane in a while. I kind of missed flying it. I bought it specifically for FSEconomy because it does seat 19 people. I think I only have 17 in it now, but still, if you can get a load of 17 people, you're going to make a decent buck. I'll probably make about, what did I say, about 12 grand, something, maybe 10, 11, 12 grand. That's pretty good for one trip, you know. Money adds up quick. I actually had this one route that I was doing between Cape May, New Jersey, and this area in Pennsylvania, or sorry, West Virginia, and each route had like 17 passengers, and I just go back and forth each day, every day, and I was doing really well, like making a lot of money. But then someone moved the plane, so I wasn't able to get into it. Yeah, so let me talk about the other thing I'm doing in FSEconomy, which is the Hawaii thing. So I have an SR20 in FSEconomy that I bought for like $250,000 or something like that. I'm using the V-Flight Air SR20, which is really a great plane, an Plane11, flies great, has great systems. And I bought the in FSEconomy. I bought it in somewhere like middle of Pennsylvania, and I really wanted to have an SR20 in Hawaii because I love flying in Hawaii. And there was no SR20 there, so that was the only one for sale at the time. Since then, some have come up on the West Coast, which is a bummer because it would have been easier. But I bought this one, and I said, let me fly across the coast to Los Angeles, and I'm going to package it up there, crate it up in FSEconomy. You can do that. You can take a small plane and crate it up, and it'll be like 950 kilograms, and then I'm going to hire someone to fly it from LAX, Los Angeles to Honolulu, which is about a 2,500 mile trip. So they'll have to fly a big iron jet like a 737 or something like that from LAX to Honolulu. And then once it gets there, I'll unpackage it and I'll have an SR20 in Honolulu. So it'll be kind of cool. It'll be a nice plane for flying around Hawaii. Kind of looking forward to that. So it's taken me 8 episodes to get to Las Vegas, where I am right now with that plane. And the next episode, episode 9, I'll be going from Las Vegas to Los Angeles. So that'll be the last leg before it gets shipped off to Honolulu. So looking forward to getting that done. All right, let's see where we are here. All right, I think we're actually pretty close. That green line, I think, is the Canadian border. So, and that's our waypoint right there. You can, if you look there on the GPS, that green horizontal line, or kind of like going down on an angle, that's the Canadian border. And there, that purple dot is our first GPS waypoint. So we're 12 miles from the Canadian border. Doing just fine on gas. This plane is really easy to fly. It's actually easy to land too, although I have to remember how to land it because it's been a while. I think we just put the flaps in and we keep it around 120, 110 to bring it down, and just nose it up and just ease her down and try not to hit it too hard. But yeah, so it's fun to fly. Like I said, it's a workhorse in FS economy. 19 passengers. I mean, you can make a good amount of money with this plane. It's got a pretty good range too. You know what I noticed is not working in 11.10 RC2 is the speed up time when you do a Control T, the speed up time. It's not working for some reason. But sometimes on these trips I'll do that. I'll do Control T, but that's not working. Not sure why. Interesting terrain coming up here. All right, 7 miles to our waypoint. We'll make a little turn to the northwest. Yeah, I like to load this plane up with gas because it tends to use a little bit more than you think it's going to use. And you know, after an hour and a half ride in FS economy, you don't want to run out of gas and crash the plane and have the whole thing be for naught, you know, for a couple of dollars. I should take us right through that lower part right there, so we're not hitting these peaks. If I did my my flight planning correctly. So what's nice is you can actually take another flight back from Kamloops back to Spokane and pick up 5, 6, 7, looks like 10 passengers, so that's pretty cool. Actually have a 19 passenger, but it's only 5K. It's not, we got to be careful because when they group together multiple passengers like that, you don't make a lot of money. You've got to, it pays to like get single passengers in FS economy. Just make more money that way. All right, here's our turn. Oh, we made our turn. Slight turn. $117 miles to the next waypoint, so that's about 127 miles to Kamloops. So see, we're going to go right down here and not hit any peaks, which is exactly what I wanted to do. And we'll get there as quickly as we can. And we should have plenty of fuel. In fact, I'm going to boost the prop up a little bit, boost the power throttle up a little bit just to gain a little bit more power because we're about halfway through and we got plenty of gas. So I'm not too worried about the fuel flow. I'd rather speed the thing up, get there quicker. Just check and see what we got in the aux tanks. Ooh, not much. All right. FS economy should let you fill up the... Oh, I just went to... yeah, did the fly inside tango there. All right, so we're moving at 250 miles a knot ground speed, which is nice. This plane actually has a weather radar right here. This is a weather radar, and a lot of good information. This is particularly good. It tells you exactly what your altitude is from ground, which is great to know. It doesn't come into play unless you think it's 2,500 feet. So we've got a well above 2,500 feet clearance between what's below us and where we are. All right, sorry guys, had to answer an email there. Look at that beautiful plane. I wish it wasn't green like that though. Green's kind of ugly, but it sure does fly nice. All right, so let me figure out my approach here. I've got 20 minutes, but I just want to make sure I'm going to pull up the chart here. You can see on the upper left-hand corner. So I'm coming into Kamloops, and Kamloops, I believe, let me just pull up my other chart here. Kamloops. According to Sky Vector, is at 1,100 feet. Now I'm going to actually just put up my. You look here on the chart. Okay, when I come into when I make this left-hand turn here at this waypoint, I got 12 miles in, and I'm going to be pretty low in altitude here. It's like 2,000. Okay, so I can start to descend. I'm going to be at 10,000. Let me just see here. This is 5,000. That's 7,000. So once I get past this peak here, I'm going to bring it down to around 8. I'm going to start to bring it down. When I'm about 50 miles out, I'll bring it down to around 9,000, and then we'll go down to 8. But I just want to set this up here. All right, so I just basically hit vertical speed, and I'll be able to go right to start to bring things down. All right, so that's what we'll do. When I get to this water point here, that's when I'll start to descend, and I'll descend down to, we'll go to 9,000. And then when we get to here, we'll go to 8,000. We'll just slowly bring her down. So when we get here, this will be 2,000. I want to be at about 3,000 feet when I get to this point right there. I think that's probably a good plan. All right. So we're coming up to this Okanagan Lake. Coming up there, that's the next large body of water. I think it's just right over those mountains up there. So we'll start to descend when we get up around there. So we got 79 miles out. Boy, really fuel efficient, that's for sure. This plane's a turboprop plane, so it moves pretty damn quick. 251 miles an hour. It's moving pretty quick. Sorry, 251 knots, my bad. Yeah, I mean, I could probably come down about 1,000 feet here, but I'll wait till we get past this this water up here, so we can check out this beautiful scenery up in the northwestern part of Kamloops. Yeah, so I've been to Kamloops before. Kamloops, I guess, is west of Calgary. I have, believe it or not, I've got family, relatives there. I should say my wife has relatives there. So I spent some time in Kamloops, a little town. It was a long, long time ago. In the 80s, I went up there. But it's a cute little town. Alright, we're plucking along here pretty well. 60 miles from our waypoint, 72 miles from the airport. There's Lake Onkatonka, whatever it is. There's a peak right up there. I think once I get past that peak, I'll start to descend. Looks like it's about 20 miles out. But it's right in my path. I don't feel like changing the GPS, so we'll just wait till we get there, and then we'll start to lower it. Although I think I'm pretty well above that peak. Man, the gas gauge seems like it hasn't moved. Just running very efficient on fuel. I'm actually going to creep up the throttle a little bit, just to get a little bit more speed. Doing 260 now. 261. 262. Just move things along a little faster. Just taking a little break from flying those little GA planes and wanted to fly a little commercial turboprop. Next step for me is going to be jets. I'm really kind of like thinking about getting into the big iron a little bit. Although I do like flying general aviation a lot. Just a lot of fun. I think it would be cool to fly like a 737 or 757. One of those systems that I have to learn a lot to be able to fly it. You have to learn, you know, the flight director, FMS system and all that, and make sure I have a complete understanding of that before I do fly it. And that takes some time, you know. With a plane like this, it can fly pretty easy. As long as you know how to work the GPS and the basic control of the plane, you can fly it pretty safely. Alright, so now once we're over this lake, as I said, we're top peak we're going to have is about 7,100 feet. So we're at 10,000. We got plenty of clearance. We could probably come down to 9,000. Which is what I'm going to do. So let's start to descend. Let's do our vertical speed, and that's going to start to take us down at 600 feet per minute. Start to slowly bring the plane down. Yeah, this is why I like flying up here. It's so diverse, the landscape. It's just interesting, you know, to look at all the formations. This would be amazing in Ortho 4XP. And that's why I can't wait to when I get my hard drive installed, I'm going to do Alaska, parts of Alaska. And that should be really cool, you know. Like Juneau Airport area and around there. Run some stuff up there. That'd be very, very cool to do that. You know what I noticed is that this doesn't have an outside temperature. I wonder if I have to worry about carb heat. Let's see. I don't see. There's pitot heat. I guess it's a turbo. I guess there's. Let's just see. Auto feathers on. Anti-ice. Yeah, we'll put those on. Because I really don't know how cold or warm it is. Oop, crap. Alright, we're bringing her down to 9,000. I guess we'll just level her off right there. Could probably go down a little bit further, but that's 1,000 feet. Alright, 30 miles out from our turn. So it's probably past that second ridge, and then we'll be into that valley, so maybe we'll take it down to 8,500. Let's do that. Down there looks pretty cool. Spectacular. All right, there's 87. I don't think I want to go much further than that, so we'll keep it at 86. And then once we get, oh, we're starting to speed up there. Plenty of gas. 33 plus 12, so 45 miles from the airport, so we're going to be fine on fuel. Doing the fly inside thing again there. And again, once we get past that second ridge is probably where we could start to descend. Yeah, so we're about 2,000 feet above that peak right there, so we got plenty of room. So let's go down to 8,000. So we got to get all the way down to like 1,200 feet to land at Kamloops, so got to come down quite a bit. You want to try to fly ahead of the plane, right? Just pull back on the throttle a little bit because it's going a little too fast there. Alright, that'll be good right there. Then when we get over that second ridge there, this is why I like to have the moving map, because I can see where I am, so I know what the altitudes are of the terrain and or the height of the terrain, and unfortunately I'm kind of just to rely on, you know, good old-fashioned instinct to figure it out. I mean, the GPS helps you a little bit, but it doesn't have a map on it, so I hope Flight Plan Go fixes that problem real quick. All right. I think we get past this peak and we start to bring her down. Yeah, because there's my turn right up there, so I got 10 miles to my turn, so let's start bringing the baby down. And I'm going to be right in that valley. And the Kamloops Airport is right along the river here, so I guess it's a river. And we should have 12 miles and we should be lined up perfectly with that runway. There's 7,500 coming down nicely. We're going to bring her down 800 feet per minute now. I know that's a little bit drastic, but I need to get down here. I got 7,000. Well, I got 20 miles. That should be okay. Now, I hope I can get into Kamloops. We'll see. It's pretty rocky here. I guess I should have probably figured that out. Let's take a look at let me just take a look at my sky vector here. No, it's pretty flat in there, so we should be fine. It should be all flat right in there. So that should be good. Appreciate you guys checking out the stream. If you want to hit that follow button, check me out on YouTube, Bambino Games. I've got a lot of content on VR flight simulation and Plane11. So if you're into that, like I am, check out my channel. All right, we're at 5, coming to 5,300, so we're coming down quite nicely. We're going to make our turn here, and we should be just fine. I start to slow the plane down a little bit. We got 12 miles, 3 minutes. We should be okay. There's our turn. And I should be able to zoom out there and see Kamloops. Let's just see if I can pick her up. Oh, there it is, right there. Nice. Right in the plateau. All right, that's beautiful. Okay, let's really slow her down now. Let's get those, let's get the gump. So we got our gas. We're on both tanks, so we're fine there. Undercarriage is still up. I'm going to put that down pretty soon, but first I want to get the plane slowed down a little bit. We're still descending. I think I'm going to take her over here and fly myself. Take her off autopilot. And there we go. All right, so get ourselves lined up here. So one last check, make sure I got this correct. Yep. All right, I see her. Slowing it down. Let's get the first load of flaps in there. Start to slow that plane down. All right, 3,000. Everything looking good. Let's put in our second pop of flaps there. Nose comes up, slowing that plane down quite a bit now. Gear down. That sounds like the outer marker. We got 3 green. All right, gas on both. Undercarriage is down, mixture is in, and prop is in, and we are on final. Don't want to stall the plane. Definitely the flight model, I feel a difference between Plane 11.05 and 10. It just seems to be much more touchy. Maybe that's realistic. All right, we're 700 feet, 650 feet. Doing well. We got full flaps in. We're flying right at landing speed here. Gotta get her down 500, 580. Slow her down a little bit more. $500 feet. Lined up nicely. Let's get that nose up. Just trim up, then get the nose up a little bit. Haven't landed this plane in a while. Little nervous about it. We're lined up well, so I think I'm a little bit high here. All right, here we go. Kamloops Airport. Here we come. All right, slow throttle it down, flare it out, and throttle down. Nice, easy. Boom, there you go. That's how you do it right there. Flaps up. Let the plane slow down. Hit the brakes there. Nicely done. Not bad. Was a fun flight. Bring our passengers to the gate. Set parking brake.
Brakes set.
Come on, why don't the brakes work? Set parking brake.
Brakes set.
Set parking brake. Set parking brake.
Brakes set.
That's weird. The brakes don't always work on this plane. All right, so that's going to do that. Let's get the let's get this plane off here. Shut her down. Plenty of gas, that's for sure. All right, let's get to turn off FSEconomy. All right, beautiful. We finished the flight. And let me just show you what we got here. All right, so let's go to log. And looks like we made 8,400 bucks. Not bad. Let's see. It cost us $732 for the plane rental. Fuel, $623. Ground crew. Wow, that's a lot of money. Booking fee, additional costs. All right, distance bonus, blah. So 8,400 bucks. I'll take $8,400. That's going to pay for creating up the SR20. So that's a good move there. So in any event, so now we got about almost 130,000, and still got my two planes here. Here's my SR20. I also have a Beechcraft King Air C90. It's at Charlotte on sale for the low price of $850,000. You want to pick that up. What's nice about it is it's in Charlotte, and there's a lot to do in Charlotte, boy. You can make a lot of money with that plane in Charlotte, that's for sure. Short trips like triangle, 3-hop triangle trips, that kind of thing. It's a great plane to have in Charlotte. And I think it's the only one there. Let's just see. Yeah, it's the only C90 in Charlotte. So pick that up, guys. I'm trying to sell it. Hopefully somebody buys it. So any event, I appreciate you guys watching. That's just going to about do it for me. Make sure you hit the follow button if you want to follow and see more. Plane11 on Twitch. I mainly stream on YouTube. The links are below there, but it's Bambino Games on YouTube. Please check that out and subscribe to me on YouTube for more FSEconomy, Plane11, and VR flying. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and have a great evening.